What is going on, guys? My name is Forge here on this channel, Mr. Supply Drops. Today I wanted to make a video talking about how Call of Duty's history is repeating itself, and I want to make this video because I see so many people, oh my god, the amount of people talking about how MW3 2023 is just a DLC, man. Oh my god, it's just DLC. There's nothing new about this game at all. There's nothing new at all. It's the same fucking game with minor changes. That's what it sounds like every time I hear people talk about this bullshit. That's what it sounds like to me, because this shit is completely different in reality. The gameplay is completely different, and if you watch any of my previous videos, you know I am not someone to sit there praising Activision, praising all the things that they do. I shit on Call of Duty every time they make these mistakes, which they do all the time, because they're mistakes that they make on purpose. It's mistakes that are made on purpose for greed, and I hate that shit. I hate skin bundles. I hate all of this trash that they keep doing with these Call of Duty games nowadays. But I want to make it very clear, though, this is the same exact shit that happened 12 years ago, and there's nothing new here whatsoever. Now, that's not to say that they're not making a much better version of a previous game, but there's just nothing new about this in the sense of MW3, the original, if we want to take a nice comparison here, is the exact same thing as the original MW2. It really is, man. There's no difference in terms of animations, the visuals, everything looks very, very similar. And yet, if you ask me, if you ask many other people what their favorites out of the two are, one will say MW2 was way better. Some, including myself, would say that MW3 was way better. Why is that? Because the games are different. They might look the same, they might play similarly. Well, actually, that's not actually the case. Actually, I'd say that the new MW3 is a way bigger change just because of the fact that they play far differently from each other. They took the same game, the same dog shit game, right? And they made it 1,000 times better. They actually made it into a really good game. That's what MW3 2023 feels like. It genuinely has the potential to be the best Call of Duty game since Black Ops 3. And that says a lot, man. That says a lot, because all these Warzone era Call of Duty games are trash so far. Cold War was alright. I liked Cold War, but at the same time, if we want to compare it to any of the previous Black Ops games, there's no prestige mode. All these skin bundles were just the focus of the game. The zombies mode was really watered down compared to previous games. So there's a lot of problems with these Warzone era Call of Duty games. So my point is, though, this one, you know, when I say that this could be the best one, especially within the Warzone era, definitely the best one out of the Warzone era, I mean it, man. I really do. They're taking all the shit and they're fixing it up. Is that worth $70? That's up to you. To me, it is. There's going to be a brand new campaign, a brand new multiplayer, because it feels like a brand new multiplayer, even if it's technically the same thing. Technically, it's not the same thing, man. There's a reason why people are sitting there shitting on Modern Warfare 2 2022 last year, and yet now we're sitting here praising it because it kind of deserves some praise. Sledgehammer fixing up the shit that Infinity Ward caused is definitely something that would be nice. Yes, I agree. This is what MW2 2022 should have been. But is that not the same thing for the original MW2? That there should have been no one-man army, should have been no incredibly powerful danger close perk that helps these noob tubes that are already powerful be just even worse. Like, all these things, man. The only difference in this situation, I believe, from the looks of it, is the fact that MW3 2023 will not have original maps at launch, but the original MW3 did. That's the only big difference that I can see between the two. But other than that, they're very similar when you compare them, in the sense of they are improvements over their previous product. That is what it is. They feel similar. They have similar animations. They were definitely, you know, rushed out. That's how it works. It doesn't mean that they're not going to be a much better version of the previous game. Now, again, that's up to opinions. I don't know how you would ever like MW2 2022 over MW3 2023. Hate these names, man. Can they just name them something different? But even down to the fact that you might say no, but it wasn't the same thing. It had survival mode, it had spec ops, it had, I don't know, some shit that is different, that you think that it makes it so that it's different from the new MW3 in the sense of it's not just a copy paste. It was, man. It's the same thing. It's literally the same thing if we're talking about it. The original MW3, like I said, the only thing that's different is the maps. The maps actually have original maps, whereas this one doesn't. But even then, they had to completely make these maps from scratch still. And either way, do you really want these Call of Duty developers nowadays making maps? These guys don't know what the f they're doing when it comes to map design anymore.
A little bit.
You know, like,
Oh yeah, nice dead in. I mean, like, who's designing these maps? Holy shit.
I don't understand. I know Infinity Ward is like the worst ones out of all of them to make maps. They really need to hire some real people, make some good maps. I don't know who's doing it over there, but I'm sorry, you don't do your job well. Like, you just don't do it. Maybe you want to make maps for a different kind of game, but not that game. You know, maybe a mill sim or something. A real mill sim. Call of Duty, even Modern for 2019, Modern for 2022, they're not mill sims. Get rid of this mill sim bullshit in Call of Duty. Modern for 2019, I blame them because they really attracted these types of people who like that mill sim type shit, and that's fine if you like that. I ain't hating on you. I'm hating on the fact that that's what Call of Duty is targeting now. Or not with this game. Not with this game. That's why I love it, because it's not. Call of Duty is supposed to be an arcade game. Anyways, point is, we're not going into that. It's a totally different topic for a different day. But point is, at the end of the day with this game, is look at this Reddit post from MW3 2011. This was from 11 years ago. Same argument that we're having today, but yet again, did people not look back on MW3 the original as it being a really good Call of Duty game? A lot of people, including myself, do. I think that it was one of my favorite Call of Duty games. It's very hard for me to pick between Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, MW3. Those are definitely some of my favorite Call of Duty games right there. I think that, actually, I'd say that is my top 3 right there. Black Ops 2 is definitely number 1, but then MW3 and Black Ops 1, I could switch between 2nd and 3rd place. I don't know, I'd have to really think about that, but I definitely think that those are 100% of my top 3 Call of Duty games, and yet MW3 2011 was just a DLC, guys. It was just a DLC. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. I mean, okay, sure. If you want to look at it in a shallow form on the surface of it, sure. It's just the same game, man. It's just the same game. But in reality, it didn't play the same. It had a whole bunch of new features, and it's the same thing with this game, okay? It has new shit. It feels much better than MW2 2022, and it will have original maps, just not at launch. So if you really want original maps, wait till this game goes on sale, which is a better time to wait for it, to be honest. Anyways, wait for it to go on sale, wait for them to add more maps in the future, like sometime next year. I'm sure it'll go on sale many times. It'll be like $30 by a year from now. I'm sure it will be, or even less a year from now. I don't know. Either way, it'll not be very expensive, and you can have all the original maps you want and the original MW2 maps. It'll all be there ready for you. If you want to just wait till then, there you go. Anyways, though, we don't have to do that. It's the same thing. People don't want to accept that history has repeated itself. I even said this many months ago when they leaked this shit. The fact that they added red dots back, I was like, damn, yeah, Sledgehammer's making MW3. Okay, sounds like what we've already had. They're fixing up problems MW2 had. Yep, sounds like we've already had that as well. Because, yeah, one-man army noob tubes, not very fun, but they got rid of it in MW3. They did. It was much better. Now, I'm not going to say, of course, that the original MW3 is always going to be better. No matter how good this MW3 is, I don't think it'll ever top the fact that the original MW3 was just a banger game. So I'm not saying like it's the 100% exact same thing. I'm just saying when we're comparing the two different things, the situations are so similar. But anyways, that's going to wrap up this video. There's not much else to say about this. I know this is a very controversial take, I feel like. But then again, in this Call of Duty community, man, you can't make anyone happy. I say one thing, there's always going to be people who come in and disagree, even if it's like in the popular opinion or whatever of what I don't say shit basically to appeal to people is my point. I say what I believe, and I truly believe that this is no different than the original MW3, comparing it to the original MW2, and I think that it's completely fine, man. If we're taking an old product and improving on it, I don't see what the problem is. If you don't find it worth $70, don't pay for it. I'm not telling you to pay for it. I don't blame you. I just don't understand what the hate is. It's not a Treyarch game. If it was a Treyarch game and it was just copy-paste, I'd understand. Why? Because Treyarch is held to higher standards, because look at the difference between Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3. They're all very different games. They knew what they were doing, man. They knew how to really make their own Call of Duty game. But here's the thing also people don't want to understand or accept or something. Every Call of Duty from this point forward are all going to be copy-paste of one another. All of them, even the Treyarch ones, actually, because of the fact of one thing: Warzone. Everything's got to feel like Warzone. It's always got to feel similar to Warzone, because they want those Warzone players to feel like they got to buy the multiplayer or whatever every year so that they can level up their guns, and they want it to be similar to Warzone. So as long as Warzone feels one way, it'll probably always feel pretty much the same. I don't know. It's just how it is, man. Until Warzone 3, we're going to have this Call of Duty games feeling the exact same pretty much. So enjoy that. I don't even know if they'll ever actually do Warzone 3, because they already took Warzone 2 out of the name and they just renamed it Warzone. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they just won't realize that that's not a good thing to do. It's more profitable to have people under the idea of their skins always transfer and stuff like that to the next Call of Duty game, so they have to keep it under the same engine, which keeps things boring and stale for a game like Call of Duty, and really restricts innovation. That's why we haven't seen the pick 10 system in so long. It's just my point, man. Call of Duty will always be the same. At least in this situation, it's better, much better than it was in the last year's version. I really wish that I didn't buy MW2. Actually, that's not true. I am glad, because now I'll have my weapons leveled up for MW3 2023, which is nice, because it'll actually be, if anything, it's better to buy this now if you avoided that, because then if you avoided last year's COD, because of the fact that this is a far better version, so you'll get to actually enjoy these weapons, like, in a game that's not shit. So that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what makes me excited about this. I'll be able to actually enjoy these old weapons. I'll be able to enjoy the new weapons, all in a game that actually has a high time to kill, actually has a skill gap, actually has red dots on the minimap, actually has ninja as a perk, actually has ghost disable if you're not moving. It actually has, oh my god, man, there's so much about this game that is so much better than the last game. All of these minor decisions add up and make much better experience. Oh, no visual recoil compared to what Model 2 2022 has, which makes it impossible to see what you're shooting at half the time when you're playing keyboard and mouse, which I know is the minority of players compared to the controllers who play on console and stuff like that, but still, like, when you can't see what you're aiming at and you don't have any aim assist whatsoever, it's fucking difficult to play the game, is my point, and that's what makes it frustrating and not fun. It doesn't feel fair. It doesn't feel fair, and that's why people complain about aim assist. I mean, maybe that's not the only reason people complain about it, but that's why I complained about it in the past, is just because of things like that. I can't see what the fuck I'm aiming at, and I never complained about aim assist until MW2 2022. I want to make that very clear. So whatever they did in that game is what made it so it felt far, far worse for a keyboard and mouse player. But anyways, that's a different topic for a different day. But what do you guys think about this? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I would love to hear what you guys have to say, but if you guys enjoyed this video, a like would be greatly appreciated. If you're new here and you like videos like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.